Hi, anyone and everyone. This is Kim, the Humble Hermit from Come As You Are Oracle. I am going to do the Tarot Collective for today. Today is Tuesday. It is May 5th, 2026. I wanted to say Saturday. You may follow me on the TheTube, my blog, or not. Totally up to you. Take what resonates. Leave what doesn't. If it doesn't fit, don't make it fit. If some of it fits, God's kiss. We love that for you. Whatever doesn't, just leave it on the table for someone else. You don't need to take on energy that wasn't meant for you. We got Deck of the Undead, Hattie Thorne. You can find this at hattiethorne.com. She also has an Etsy shop. I put the link for hattiethorne.com in my link tree if you're interested. I don't get paid to do that. I don't get free cards. I just put it in there because I love her. Rob Barthelman is in there for Intuitive Intention. And Crystal Banner. We got one on the table. Two on the table. It gives somebody has a choice between something new and something old. Or just a choice between two things. Three on the table. Four on the table. Okay, that is upside down. We got four on the table, one major, and that major is in reverse. Two more shuffles. I have my phone on, I think. I was listening to a tarot reading while I was eating. Last shuffle, last shuffle, last shuffle. Five on the table, one major. That major is in reverse. A lot of cups. A lot of cups. Look at that. 6 cards at the bottom of the deck. Oh, this is so... I was going to say this is so weird, and then I heard in my head life and death. Life and death. What is it with the top of the deck? Wasn't the top of the deck yesterday all... Or maybe it was the last time we used these cards. They were all majors. I got 3 majors at the top of the deck. Okay. Oh, I like that. Did we ever get this card in a reading? The World card? It's top of the deck. I like that, though. Hattie Thorne put at the bottom of the card the oracle part of the tarot card. All the cards are like that in this deck. It says the end of the world is just a new map. I like that. I like that a lot. Let me show you. It's not part of the reading. I mean, technically, it probably could be, but... I love this deck, y'all. It's one of my favorite decks. And I just thought it was going to be another zombie deck. Nope, it's the best zombie deck. All right. We got 7 of cups. Sorry, I'm picking bacon out of my teeth. We got 6 of cups. We got 8 of Wands. We've got the Sun in reverse. We've got King of Cups. And then bottom of the deck, we got 7 of Swords. Feminine, masculine, take how it resonates. Somebody has to make a choice. And this person with the 8 of Wands, like they feel like they don't have time. They feel like they have to make a snap decision. And I'm just gonna say it. There's nothing out here to say relationship vibes, but I feel like it's a relationship of some kind. It doesn't necessarily have to be lovers. It could be like a family member, a friend. Because it even could be like somebody having to make the choice between being true to themselves or being true to a friend, being true to a family member. Like it could be that. Again, it could be a lover, it could be somebody choosing between a new person and an old person. It could be someone choosing between 2 new people. I don't know. Take how it resonates. But whoever this is with the 8 of Wands, like they think they don't have enough time. It's like I don't have enough time to make this decision. Like, how am I supposed to make this decision? Like if it was lovers, right? If we use that as an example and we say this is lovers, and somebody has to choose between 2 lovers, it's almost like they know one of them better than the other, and they know this, and they're like, well, how can I choose if I really never got to know A, but I know a lot about B? I know I just gave them letters. Tina and Tanya. Bob and Sam. I always use Tina and Tanya. Did you guys ever notice that? I don't know what that is. Tina, I think from Bob's Burgers. Bob from Bob's Burgers. But I don't know where I get the Tanya from. I don't know. I just always want to say Tanya. Tina and Tanya. Bob. What's the other male name I use all the time? It's not Bill. Michael? It's something. I know there's a name that I use like all the time. Yeah, like the Sun in reverse. They feel like this is a no-win situation. They feel like they don't have enough time. They feel like they don't have enough information. This would be too like you're living your life, right? And your cousin comes in and says, can I borrow $1,000 for such and such? And you have to make the decision. Like, am I going to give him $1,000 or am I going to tell him no because I can't really afford it? Like, that's my savings or that was for my vacation. You know what I mean? It's kind of like having to make that choice. Am I going to protect myself and my own investments or am I going to help somebody out? And the same thing with a friend, somebody comes in and asks you for help, like, hey, can you do this for me? Like, I don't have time. And it's kind of like, do I look like I have time? You know what I mean? Like, it's. And it's funny because with this King of Cups, like, whoever this is, they feel like in their bones that if they don't make the right choice, like, they're fucked. Like this is like, okay, is it A or B? Is it Tina? Is it Tanya? Is it Bob? Is it Sam? Like, it's like a nail biter for them, like, am I going to give them the $1,000 or am I going to tell them no? you know, like they don't know what to do. And they really feel like if they don't make the right choice, it's going to affect them negatively in some way. The thing is if you're choosing between yourself and another person, like a family member or friend, if you can't do what they need, then you don't. I mean, plain and simple. Because you should always put yourself first. If your cousin comes in and asks you for $1,000 and it literally took you months to save up $1,000 for your vacation, do not give them $1,000. I know that sounds harsh. I know that sounds horrible. There is not a day that goes by that I don't think in the back of my mind that my dad is going to come to me for money. My brother's going to come to me asking for money. I don't have it. I can't give it to you. And if I have to take out a loan for my 401k, from my bank, something like that, I would take that out for me. I wouldn't take that out for you. So, no, you're going to have to take care of yourself. You're going to have to figure it out yourself. You're big boys, I always have that in the back of my mind that something's going to happen and they're going to need money and I don't have money to help them. Like if you don't have the money, if you don't have the means, like if a friend comes in and says, I got to pick up my sister's kids at 3, but I have a job interview at 2:45. Can you pick up the kids? Like I'll call the school and let the school know. If you don't live anywhere near there, if it's an hour drive for you, if you don't have any gas and you got to fill your tank, if you're busy doing your job and would have to take an hour off a paid vacation to go get those kids, then why would you do it? And again, I know it sounds harsh. But at the end of the day, you should always be putting yourself first. If it's not you, if it's not your kids, then why? Then why? And I think one of the important things to ask yourself too, and again, sounds harsh, but would they do the same for you? If you pick up your friend's nephews from school and deliver them to their home and everything's good, everything's great. And then 2 months later, your kids need to be picked up and you call this friend, let's say even the day before, like, hey, I'm not going to be able to pick them up tomorrow. Do you think you could pick them up for me? And that person's like, well, no. Then you absolutely know not to do that for them ever again, right? Right? I'll just say, oh, black kitty. I'll just say this. I've gotten very good at telling people no. I've gotten very good at pretending like I can't hear. I've gotten very, very good at being like, la, 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 la. And again, I'm not kidding. Like, my greatest fear is that my dad or my brother is going to reach out and they're going to want money. And the only reason why I say that is because, not that my dad didn't work his ass off, because he did. Sometimes he had 2, 3 jobs. But we never had any extra money. Like, it was always gone. And I'm not kidding. That's why I have issues with spending money, because I was raised in that environment. And I try really hard to save. And I told you, if you guys follow, if you subscribe, I talk all the time about how, I have patterns. Like, I save for, months at a time, and then I spend for 2 weeks, it's all a part of growing up around that. And we never had money. Were we starving? No. But there never was really any extra money for anything. And I'm not going to lie, my grandparents, my dad's parents helped out a lot. Without them, there are some cases, some things that I remember where I don't know that my parents would have been able to make it. I don't know if they would have been able to keep their house. I don't know if they would have been able to feed us, The thing is my dad and I, and even my brother, we've had this conversation in regards to something else. And I've told both of them more than once, I don't have the money for that. I can't put in money towards that. I have to save money for me, for my life, for my retirement. I'm going to be 46 in June. I'm not a baby cricket. I don't know where that came from. Baby cricket. I don't know. I don't have money to give to you or anybody else for them to live off of, for their retirement, whatever the case. I don't have that. I have to save for myself. And I knew that, like I knew that when I divorced the ex-husband. I was like, oh shit, like I'm going off on my own technically for the first time in my life. I bought my condo, I pay my mortgage, I work my full-time job, I do this with you guys. I'm busy. I don't have, I make time for the things that I want to do, the things I want to learn and experience. I would do that for a lover if I had a lover, but I'm not going to do that for my dad and my brother or anybody else in the family or any other friends. I mean, other than, like hanging out on holidays and stuff like that. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I can't. Like, I only have time for me, for what I'm doing. I only have money for me, what I'm doing. I don't ask you for money. I don't ask you for things. I figured that out on my own because I'm a big girl, right? Like, I use the noggin. I try and figure it out. I just don't understand people asking for help and then not be willing to return the favor. So what I'm saying is, if this resonates for you, don't. And again, I know to some people, they're going to be like, wow, you're a bitch. And I can honestly say, like, people will ask me questions, ask me for things, inquire about stuff, and I will offer up things of my own volition. I will do things for people. I will buy people things. I love to buy people gifts. I love it. I love it. Even when I don't get anything back, because I never expect anything back. But I love to buy people stuff. I love to see the smile on their faces, all of that. It's just, if I know I can't, I'm not going to. And I think there's so many people out there that still don't get that. Like, they just feel like burdened. They feel like they're forced. They feel like somebody cons them into it. And I just don't believe in that. And again, I don't care if it's family. I don't care if it's a friend. Like, if you can't, then you can't. And you shouldn't even need to say anything more than that. If my cousin comes in and asks me for $1,000, and I literally don't even need a second to think about it, right? Like, I don't have $1,000 for you. I'd be like, sorry, Bobby. Isn't that the name I use all the time, Bobby? Isn't that it, Bobby? I'm going to be thinking about that all night, y'all. I'll be like, Bobby, I don't have the $1,000. Sorry. Like, why don't you ask your parents? Why don't you call grandma? Like, I would be more than happy to try and offer up solutions, but I don't have the $1,000. And I'm never going to be like, oh, well, let me get back to you and then never call them back. I would never do that either, because that's horrible. That's worse than saying no, as far as I'm concerned, because then you leave them hanging and they think they're going to get $1,000 and then they never get the $1,000. I would rather just tell them no and then try and help them figure out how to get the $1,000. Whoever this is, they feel like if they don't make that right choice, if they don't pick that right person, like, they're and like this Seven of Swords, okay? Look at this. It says, trust no one. It says, take what you can, run while you can. Like, this person feels like it's like Sophie's Choice. Like, they feel like, you want me to make this choice? Like, how am I, this would be like freaking Titanic, and you have a raft and only you and one other person fit on it, and you have to choose your mom or you have to choose your wife, right? I'm just gonna say, you would hope that the mother would bow out gracefully, and I'm just saying. I don't know why you would choose your mother over your wife, but whatever. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just saying. That's, like I said, that's Sophie's choice. But that's how this person feels. Especially if they're choosing between like two people. Like if this is a lover situation. Or even like if it's somebody choosing between two friends, two family members. It's like, what am I supposed to do here? You know what? It gives that feeling like, oh, somebody's going to hate me. Like one of these people is really going to hate me. With the lovers, it's not really technically that big of a deal. Once you make your choice, you've made your choice. That other person's going to move and leave, eventually get over you and go find somebody else. You might not necessarily ever have to see that person ever again. But like a family member, a friend, you have to make a choice between. Like, you still have to see that family member at holidays. You still have to see that friend when you get together with all your other friends, you know? I understand it's hard to make these kind of decisions. I think we're at the precipice, we're at the boiling point. Like people really need to start choosing themselves. People really need to start choosing themselves. And again, don't get me wrong. Like I'm a giver. I'm a people pleaser. I'm always going to be a recovering, healing people pleaser. Always. But like I said, like my cousin comes in and asks for $1,000. I already know I can't do that. Me picking up two kids from school and having to give up my work to go to, I couldn't do that. Like I couldn't afford that. I all of my vacation time for the year is already spoken for. Seriously, I'm not even kidding. So, like, knock on wood, if I was to get sick, I'd have to go to work sick. I just, I would be like, no, sorry. No. Would I love to be able to say, oh, I'm picking up my kids? Yeah, sure. But somebody else's? What am I supposed to do? Take a couple hours vacation pay? Leave work early? For somebody else's kids? For two kids that I'll probably never see again? For my friend's sister that I have only ever met once? And to me, in my mind, and unless like I was really close with like my best friend's family or something like that, like that's a big ask, you know? You have to drive to the school. They're going to interrogate you like, "Oh, we have your license plate number, but are you still that person?" Then you got to take the kids home. God knows how they're going to behave in the car. You know what I mean? Like I just I couldn't. I couldn't. I'd have to choose me. I'd have to choose my own sanity, my own calm, my own peace. Choosing the wrong lover, first of all, why are you choosing between lovers, I guess is the question. And second, I'm sorry, I'm just of the mind that if you have a choice between two or three people, there's always going to be one that you love the most, or the one that you respect the most, or one that you admire the most. That's the one you get with. Like the one you the most. Whoever's the most. That's the one. Can I just say, I really hate that everybody is now saying when you get those little butterfly feelings that that's actually your intuitiveness telling you no. I really hate that. I really hate that thought. I really hate that thought. For me, just because like I usually don't get that right away. Like I don't usually look at a man or a woman and be like, "Oh, that's the one I'm going to marry. I got butterflies." Butterflies usually come later. So you're telling me like if that's my intuitiveness telling me that that person is wrong, then why does it take so long for my intuitiveness to figure it out? Plus I kind of like that butterfly feeling. Like I would want that associated with something good, you know? I don't know. I don't know. Okay, what? Okay, I did the Neon Tarot last night, and I saw Jonah Hill when I was looking at the one card. There was a masculine, and I thought he looked like Jonah Hill. Like I saw Jonah Hill in my mind. Tell me why I'm looking at the King of Cups and I'm thinking about Jack Black. I love Jack Black, but he looks old now. Gray beard, gray hair. Good, he looks good, but you always forget how old these actors are until you see it, like in their face or on their in their hair or something. But yeah, I'm looking at this, and for some reason, I'm thinking of Jack Black. I don't know. I think my neighbor's dogs are whining, but I can't really tell. I also think too, I'm just going to say this one last thing before I let it go. If you're choosing between lovers, who's the person that, like, there has to be one person that you had that intuitive thought before the other, like, oh, this is the one. Like, who's the person that you had like those unique feelings for? You know? I don't know. I've also let me say this one last thing too before I go, because I've said this before. If you have the choice of two lovers and you make the choice and you start dating this person, right? Like now you're um what is it called? Oh my god. Exclusively dating this person, and like a week in, a month in, 5 months in, a year in, you're starting to get that feeling like this is not your person, like things are not meshing. You're feeling like uneasy around them, or like you're just not feeling it. You can call it quits. If you're just dating somebody, you can always call it quits. You can always say, hey, just so you know, this isn't working for me, and I don't think it's going to work for me. I packed up my stuff. I'm leaving. I left you a month's rent, month of my half's rent. I wish you nothing but the best. See you around. Like you don't have to commit yourself for forever to somebody that you've only been dating for a year. I mean, I know it sucks to feel like you waste time, but I'd rather get with the person, waste the time, and move on than stay with somebody I'm unhappy with, especially if it's just dating. Like, who gives a move on? I don't know. Like, sometimes I get the feeling like people always think they're stuck in situations that they're not stuck in. Again, not in regards to abusive situations, as always, but okay, I'm going to leave it there. I hope it resonates for somebody. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope, if anything, you're entertained. Um, if you know anything about Jack Black, let me know. I'll talk to you later. Bye.